Definitions of overzealous: adjective marked by excessive enthusiasm for and intense devotion to a cause or idea. Synonyms are fanatic, fanatical, rabid, passionate. So, am I overzealous? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G TERADO. If you are new here, welcome to the show. This is a podcast where I sit down with friends, fellow local artists, creators, and other creative entrepreneurs, and we simply sit down and have honest discussions and conversations on our pursuits for our creative endeavors. And we just share honest stories and experiences. And we also talk about other things, other aspects of life. So if you enjoy this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, whether if you are listening on podcast or watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please leave a comment to help out with the algorithm. And also, just to, say hello. If you got any questions, I would love to answer them. Which, by the way, towards the end of this episode, if you stick around, I do have I'll be doing a short little Q&A at the end. Just check out the show descriptions. I'll always be providing links to my active social media platforms, online shops, and all that. And I also provide links for featured guests. All right. And then for everyone else who is a returning listener or viewer, welcome back and thank you for your continued support. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell, and that way you all will be able to keep up with the current uploads. And let's go. So you may be able to tell from the thumbnail that there is no guest for this one. This is just a straight up you and me situation. So it's been a while. I've had a great run with some new and returning guests on the podcast, and it's really crazy how, I don't know, I guess just because I've been in the motions, just keeping the machine going, that I don't know, like time flies so fast, and I'm even recognizing it during podcasts, especially now. I run a timer. I was doing that in the beginning, then I kind of got off of it and just felt comfortable within my own world to be able to start closing the podcast. But here we are now in need of the timer again. So it really is helpful. I'm really trying to utilize it more. And time has been flying every recording session. And but I'm not hating on it. It's great. I met a lot of new people, got to catch up with some old friends, and sorry, I got like fuzzies in my eye. And just catching up and seeing how everyone's doing, and it's been fun. So usually, I just want to address for again new audience members. Usually when I sit down alone, it's I use that as an opportunity to reflect on the recent sit downs I've had, and and just kind of address some of the things that I've been noticing and would like to fix, try to pick out these flaws, and try to, just fine tune my communication skills, and just just being a good person, to communicate with and have conversations and all that good stuff, just to be a good podcaster, really. But in the process of that, trying to just promote local talent. Wait, how did I get here? So if you're new here, this is something that happens often with me is that I go on tangents because I'm long-winded, and then I kind of forget the whole point of what I was talking about. I was talking about reflections. So yeah, I use this moment to reflect. I have some notes. So I'm gonna stick with my notes here, keep on track. But actually, speaking of time, right? Time flies. Uh, so anytime I bring on a new guest, right? They always ask, "Oh, how long is it? Like, is this going to be?" And I say roughly, uh, like 60 to 90 minutes, an average. Uh, Sometimes even 2 hours. And that depends on who the guest is and also how well the conversations are going. So it's I guess like when I guess if you're making your first appearance on a podcast, potentially someone that you don't know very well, maybe it might be intimidating or just generally off-putting. I don't know, but the reason why they're that long is because first, I don't when I bring people on for the first time, I always address that, to not look at these meetings as an interview. Because I never do. I really just look at it as two people getting to know each other, either through something they have in common, which is usually something creative, uh, or through a mutual friend, or even just yeah, whatever, right? Whatever the reason being. So I really just look at it as an opportunity to just yeah, sit down with someone and get to know them. And again, right, this is an artist podcast basically. So usually I am drawing in um, usually other artists, whether it's visual arts, music, photography, dance. I haven't had a dancer on, I don't think. But anywho, yeah. So so yeah, they roughly run about easily over an hour, I'd say. I just say 60 minutes because like every now and then there are episodes that are about an hour. But they run so long because I really just in my experience, that really is like enough time to I think, I guess maybe I'm just biased. I don't know, but I think is just enough time to really start getting comfortable with the person that you're sitting down with. Now I'm usually extroverted. I love socializing. Um, so I can really sit down and shoot the shit, especially if really things are going along. Like not every, I'm not gonna say every conversation I have is like, always awesome. Like there's been a couple of duds, and um, yeah, whether because me or the other person. But yeah, I'm generally very extroverted and very social. Between me and my wife Nicole, I'm the social one, usually. Although times have been a little weird, so I don't know. I could always go back to that. Maybe later on or on another episode when it's just me alone. But yeah, I just think about 90 minutes is really like the safe is like a good time because it could take about 45 maybe an hour to finally really get the groove or just to get to know each other um and then yeah, so um I don't know, I guess that's just my opinion, I guess, just again, and I'm only speaking out of experience, but that's just something I've seemed to notice. But I try to be mindful also that some people just don't they just don't have that. I don't want to say endurance. I think the last time I talked about it, I said endurance, and I don't think that's the right word. But yeah, I guess if you're just sitting down in front of a screen, whether it's on your computer screen or on your phone or iPad, but doing that for 90 minutes, yeah, I guess it's a long time. But I'm old fashioned. Just I like if you grew up during, the like early 90s, early mid 90s, like we're used to like being on the phone and having long conversations or just being around each other and just hanging out and talking like that. It's just like now we have so many things to keep us distracted. So I I've said it a couple of times, and I would say that this is the closest thing to a true form of social media because we are directly, well, when I have someone with me on the show, when I'm featuring a guest, we are just purely having conversation while getting to know each other's backgrounds and in the arts or whatever other pursuits. But we are simply sitting down and just talking it out, and it's great. I miss that, and I think it's just obvious that with social media, it's all about DMs and stuff, and I don't know. I'm just old fashioned. Try to avoid. I try to avoid engaging conversation in just text form, but it's inevitable. It's sometimes unavoidable. So I just gotta accept that. But that's how I like to communicate. Just for you guys to know. If you have my number and you be hitting me up, like just know that I love engaging on conversation organically. So another thing that I've been noticing from past recordings are the sort of the topics that I tend to revisit. And as of late, it's been making new friends and networking here in Richmond. Comedy, appreciating comedy as an art form. That's been like a thing, a topic, or rather an art form I've been obsessing over just because it's been so helpful from my mental health and outlook on life. Really, it just helps me kind of open my eyes and just try to see things from different perspectives and just be able to laugh. Just to really be able to laugh. But yeah, so comedy, nostalgia, like just reminiscing on, again, I brought up the 90s. There have been a couple episodes where me and the guests would talk about like vintage items and collecting and stuff. Because you can see some of the action figures in the background if you're watching on YouTube. I got some action figures here, and that's just one small portion of the shelves. The shelf I have, a bunch more going up, and I used to love collecting figurines. But yeah, and talking about that a bunch of times, basically it got me to the point where I started watching 90s, late 80s, 90s toy commercials and cartoon introductions. Like I just fell deep into that rabbit hole. And man, that shit brought me back. It's just seeing so many titles. And it's crazy because like I'll remember just like a random cartoon that I really wasn't even a fan of, but just I remember remember a glimpse of it because I probably just watched it because they put it on. Like I'm the youngest out of four. So I grew up on a lot of stuff that each of them grew up on. So I mean, whatever they put on, I probably just would catch a glimpse of it or whatever at whatever age. It's so little, but watching these the compilation videos of these 90s cartoon introductions, I'm just watching. I'm like, oh shit, that's what that was. Like I've always had a memory of the Gummy Bears cartoon, and anytime I would look back and I'm like, like was that a real cartoon? And sure enough, it is. And I don't know, like I don't remember being like an actual fan of the cartoon. Like I was a fan of Rugrats. I was a fan of uh like Power Rangers, X-Men, Fox Kids was around. Eat the Cat, that's an old school one. Ren and Stimpy was a little before my time, but I sort of, I guess, like my generation, we caught like the end of that. The SpongeBob SquarePants would be the modern version of Ren and Stimpy, I would think. So yeah, I fell into a deep rabbit hole of the 90s commercials. And I, hopefully moving forward with the podcast, uh I will be able to avoid those topics and talk about new things. Uh, you know, because I'm usually having someone on for the first time. A lot of generic questions are asked again because we are simply getting to know each other. So a lot of these um what's the word I'm looking for? All these basic questions are gonna come up a lot, but sometimes it is. I've addressed this a couple times with other guests, and it is nice to be able to sort of like not talk about art or the thing that we pursue. It's nice to take a break from that and talk about other interests. So that's why every introduction of the podcast, I always say we talk about art and we talk about life. We talk about our interests and our hobbies, as well as our creative endeavors. But yeah, moving forward, I'm gonna try to avoid talking about, like the stuff I feel like I've just been talking about a lot often. Um, but having said that, I am booking I got some openings. This is gonna be out on the 18th, which is a Monday. So I don't know. I have some openings for late July, towards the end of July. So and going into August. So I feel like I don't do it enough when I do these solo podcasts. But if you are watching or listening, if you yourself would like to appear on the podcast and share your story, if there's something you're working on that you're passionate about and you want to spread it out there and let people know, I'd be more than happy to feature you on the podcast and help spread the word, help you out in any way. That's what the podcast is about also. So yeah, if you would like to make an appearance, and if it's your first time, like this would be a great opportunity because, like this is a very off the cuff. I try to make this as comfortable as possible for my guests and let them be loose and be as open as they want to. I mean, sure, we're going to be broadcasting this on the internets, but yeah, I don't know. So if you'd like to, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me in my social medias. Um, but I will also say, if not to you, but you know somebody that you think would be a great fit to the podcast, that might be in sort of the same position as I am, just trying to get out there, expand, um, get your brand out there and everything. Yeah, just reach out. Would love to have you on. Um, so yeah, let me just mark that off. And and speaking of bookings, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep things virtual for a while. I've had a few guests here in my office, um, but I think for now I'm gonna keep things virtual, just because I need to invest in on more equipment. So, if I have another person here, uh, it works with one mic, but we would have to. I've made a couple mistakes, and that we would be too far away from the mic when I would set it in between us. So I'm gonna try to invest on another microphone, which will I'm gonna have to buy a kit, a podcasting kit, a microphone, a little mixer with multiple inputs for two mics, get headphones, and I mean my headphones might be a first thing actually, because I need to start making sure that I'm speaking clearly. Sometimes I forget, like, I have to be like right here touching this mic for a nice clear. I got this pop filter, so I think it's like nice and crisp, right? Leave a comment on the YouTubes. Um, yeah, so I got some investments I gotta make. I was talking about it with Nicole. Like, she was telling me how she wants to, like, she would like to see me get the arm, the microphone arms. Like, every podcaster has them. Like, if they're doing well, they got a nice microphone arm, and they just we'll see, they'd be swinging the mic around. Like, if you're watching, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, like, I feel like when I'm holding the mic, I don't know if it makes noise, like, unless because I know if I like hit the table, like, it's gonna catch that shit, I think, right? It has in the past. Anyway, back to bookings. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it virtual until then, until I got more equipment and get used to operating that. And then yeah, that's it. That's about it in terms of for the podcast. I know I have mentioned making new graphics for the visuals on YouTube. I just haven't gotten to them yet. I've been I mean, I guess this is a great segue into what I've been up to. Yeah, I haven't gotten to any new graphics for the podcast. And by graphics, I'm talking about I mean, I like the logo, but I might change it. I foresee a change in the logo design in the future. But as far as other graphics goes, like, if you've watched other episodes, I'll have like the text that in the lower thirds fade in saying, please like, was it please like, share, and comment, or something like that. I can't even remember right now, but it'll say something along those lines, right? Just simple. But I don't know. I want to make fun little graphics for that, just to make it a little more eye appealing, and not even just eye appealing for you guys, the viewers, but to also express more of my creativity. It's been popping up every now and then, but I don't want to say need, but I've been catching myself mentioning how I have a a degree in media arts and animation. So a lot of my courses, it was a lot of multimedia, graphics, visual effects and stuff. I didn't do anything fancy, but I've always loved editing. I like doing like nice cuts and stuff and syncing things to music. So if you've seen a lot of my content on the YouTube channel, which by the way, subscribe, ring the bell. Um, a lot of my videos are like that. I have a lot of speed art that I post with music in the background, and it's all just synced together with the cuts and the zooms and the transitions and all that. So yeah, I guess I try to use the podcast to show that. I'm just in, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, that's what I meant by making new graphics. I just want to make fun graphics to put along the bottom here, saying, like and subscribe, have fun little phrases. If people are actually watching, I know some people will tune in through on YouTube, but they just like let the video play and they listen to it in the background while they're doing things, which is what I've always suggested. Because again, I have a very lengthy podcast, but if you need something to fill in the air, to fill in the environment while you're doing chores like dishes or just whatever, laundry, long commutes to work, if you're stuck in traffic, morning coffee, taking a shit. What else? On the elliptical, I'm just naming stuff that I do when I'm listening to podcasts. Yeah, that helps. Yeah. What was I saying though? But yeah, graphics. That's one day. But the reason why I haven't gotten to the graphics is because I've been focusing on commissions lately. Hold on, I need some water. Holy shit. I've been focusing on commissions for some clients, and that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's just been what I've been doing. If you follow my Instagram and Facebook, a lot of my content as of late it's a mix of the podcast, short clips, and then just other posts regarding some work in progress shots of commissions or just like other stuff. So I've admitted I often would repost some older work also because I've been connecting with other people. So, for like the recent followers, I've been reposting some work to help them get familiar with, my personal art, especially the people I've connected with from the Charlottesville festivals, the cannabis and the arts festivals. Yeah. So, and I've admitted that I've been reposting things like that just to kind of stay relevant. And then, like I just said, kind of reintroduce my craft to people that I've just connected with. Hold on a sec. Drop something here. So yeah, I'll have some new work soon. I've actually opened a couple slots for custom art commissions. So if you're tuning in and you're looking for some new art to decorate your home with, holla at your boy. Well, actually, visit the link in the show description, check out my work. Go to my main website. That way you get an idea of my aesthetic. Maybe it fits yours. And yeah, maybe we can work something out. Then holla at your boy. But Actually, I'm pretty excited because I just got back on another personal piece. Um, so if you're again new here, I have an art series, an ongoing art series I call Tech Utopia, and it's basically um, just a depiction of a dystopian world where I mean, it's pretty generic, right? Technology kind of takes us, we're consumed by it, we become slaves to it. Um, but and just this um what's the word? An astonishing cycle that tends to happen. And I guess I'm just speaking on right. This is my series here that I'm trying to. This is the one that I'm narrating here. Um, yeah, I don't know. That was like an odd choice of words I just used then. But it'll make more sense if you're familiar with my work. Um, so I had a piece that I started. And I'm about half. Well, when I left it, it's about halfway. Now I'm getting real close. I'm probably maybe 70%. Um, it's actually right behind me. I have to look this way, right? No, this way. Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's right. It's right on my desk there, and yeah, it's just funny because sometimes going back into that because I have a lot of portraits. That's another thing you would notice if you just follow my social media. I have a lot of portraits that I do. It's part of my practice. It's how I stay loose, and I have a lot of portrait content out there. Um, it's like a comfort zone, but when it goes into the Tech Utopia stuff, uh, it's a darker place. I always say there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I do have an idea of a brighter future in this art series. It's just I haven't gone. I'm still going through the trudges. Is that a word? Trudges? Or no, I think that's a verb. But I'm still going through the rough of Tech Utopia, this dystopian world that I've created. I'm still working through it. I have these characters again. If you follow my work, you know what I'm saying. When I say characters, there are these characters I have in these paintings um, that actually have a story. Uh, yeah, I'm still telling the story. The saga continues, as I always say in my posts. So there is light at the end. Just still digging through. Um, I have a couple other work in progress pieces up on the grids. Um, right here. Ding dong. Um, there's still I probably still have to do some detailing with the graphite and then start inking it, watercolors. Um, yeah, I guess now if I'm not working on commissions between those commissions or any bit of uh free time I have, I will jump back on this Tech Utopia series. Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I'm just excited to finally get more stuff done on this painting because it's been sitting for a while. These pieces that I started last year, I believe, all three of them, or at least this one behind me. I started that last year and just I don't know, fell off. But I'm excited. I'm excited to show it when it's finished because then I'll start showing like the inspiration and all that. Um, this one has like a nice little throwback homage And yeah, I'm excited to get into that at its debut. I guess you can call it that. I don't know. So yeah, I've been just doing a lot of podcasting work. So just trying to get a lot of podcasting and then portraits. Like I just and then it's been nice mixing it up with the commissions now. But I do have to make time to get some, private work done. So it's a work in progress, all of it, all of it. Um, Damn, there was this one topic I wanted to get into because it scares me. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know if I want to get into it on this episode or like save it. I mean, I already talked. I just mentioned. Whatever. Let's get into it. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. AI creating art, music, and speeches. I'm seeing these ads now, and I don't know, probably because of something I posted or said out loud around my devices. I don't know. I know, but I don't know. But anyway, I'm seeing these ads about AI creating music. I'm like seeing this like Facebook reel about it. This dude's like, I forget how like what the first step was, but this program or software collected all this data, whether it's through keywords or what. But this dude in the video provided all this data, and then with that data, I guess it created a fresh new song. Um, I don't know. It's just weird. So there's something like that. And then there's something else I saw recently with speeches. This guy's talking about AI creates speeches. I didn't really look in too deep into it because it just kind of freaked me out. Just like we have this AI is it's really taking over, man, in some way or form. But particularly, I've seen ones with AI creating art. And then what was the ad that I saw? Or perhaps it was a post a friend posted, but they I guess again, like I don't even know how it really works, like how, if it's an app. It sounded like she used an app or something on social media, maybe, where it generated this painting, quote unquote painting. Uh, and then recently on the JRE podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, he just had put out an episode with Duncan Trussell, and Duncan he discusses that this AI creating art. I forget what it was called because it was like someone he interviewed, or maybe it was a friend that works for this company or something. Damn. I would have to go back. Like I just listened to it. I'd have to go back, but I got a fucking cotton mouth here. Okay. Yeah. Um, he basically described it how I just described the previous, where I guess you would type in or submit these keywords, like well what he was talking about, someone wanted a painting done, so they described all the details that they wanted in this painting, and in a matter of seconds this AI creates the painting, like with all the details, included. And it's fascinating, but I mean, fascinating doesn't always have to be a good thing. I mean, there's good and bad, but for everything in this case, like I mean, it's cool. It's a great tool that can apply to. I mean, it's convenient, but with that convenience, it just worries me because I'm a fucking visual artist. So it's like I'm out of the equation, and I'm still alive, man. I still got some time. So I don't want to be obsolete to the AI because they're like people now can just use this AI technology to make their paintings. Like, come on, man. So that's my thoughts on that. I feel I've always expressed that I have a love and hate relationship with modern technology, the advancements, social media. I have a love and hate relationship with all of that because I just look at the both sides of it, the ups and the downs of having such things uh, in our grasp. Um, which again, right? Like social media, like it's so convenient to communicate, which I love that. I've said I love the fact that I'm able to I had a guest on a while back from Angola. His name is Jerson Lamos. Great kid. We actually still keep in touch now, like every now and then, just catching up. And I'm really excited to have him back on the podcast. And when he's back, keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for Jerson Lamos. A great kid, very talented, but just a great person to talk to. But yeah, I mean, so being able to do that, I appreciate that. But I guess when if it's not used, to its potential in the sense that it just, man, how do I want to say it? It does something to the way we communicate with each other as well. Like it allows us to be able to do such, communicate with someone from a distance, but it does leave that gap between two people, and like, I don't know your true intentions. Like, there's no context. I don't know if you're joking or whatever. So I don't know. Anyway, don't want to go on that rant. But that's all I'm gonna say. This topic, because it's popping up on my feed. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic, especially now. It's like, like I see a bunch of apps where it's just like it just takes the art and not creativity, because it is like a creative tool, but it takes the artist out of the equation. And when you commit a lot of years to that endeavor, it just kind of, I don't know. It just seems soul crushing to me. Maybe I'm just speaking personally, but anyway. But that topic will probably be popping up in the future episodes. Just the opinions on AI creation, like AI creating things, whether it's music, visual arts, or again, speeches. Again, I don't know too much about the speeches, but I saw a video ad with this person saying something about the AI and creating speeches, and I'm like, God damn, really? Anywho, so I've been more active on YouTube, which, by the way, those who recently subscribe. Oh, I can't speak anymore. Subscribed to my channel. Thank you for your support there. And also people who leave comments. I'm fresh on the YouTube scene, honestly. Like, I just revived the channel not that long ago. I started the channel initially how long? 2014, I think it was. Maybe I don't know. I might be off. But anyway, I haven't used it in years, and maybe it was 2017. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I haven't used it in years. Decided, you know what? I'm gonna just start putting content out there. So I've been more active with the podcast, especially. But now I'm trying to put more of my art content out there. Um, that being said, um, a lot of a lot of the content are based. Well, I guess they're technically not reposts because they're not coming from YouTube, but I am taking older content from my Patreon and I'm bringing them onto YouTube. Not all of them, just some of them that I don't know. I guess people would enjoy to watch. Um, I have a lot of portraits again. I have a lot of portrait content. So I don't want to flood my YouTube channel with portraits. Just portraits at least. I'm trying to mix it up with a little more of my other work. But yeah, right now with the YouTube channel, I'm just gonna try to grab as many views as I can, public watch hours, right? Trying to get that 4,000 public watch hours, which is, I got a long way to go. So again, when I said, you know, if you're gonna put on a podcast and it's looking lengthy, and most likely it's a lengthy one, just hit play and then go about your business. Do whatever you got to do. Just let that podcast video play. Or on podcast platforms if you're just listening. I don't want to exclude the listeners, but yeah, same thing applies. Just hit play and go do your thing. But yeah, I'm trying to get those watch hours, and then along the way try to get some more subscriptions. And I've been getting a few here and there, and I appreciate you guys for real. Even if one or two may be robots. Oh yeah, but yeah. So I'm just gonna, like, every now and then I'll create like a new video for YouTube, but yeah, just it's so much easier. The reason why I have so many portrait content is because I don't know, it's just easier. It's easier to document that stuff, to record portrait drawings, for me at least. When it comes to painting, I'm so much more vulnerable. Um, Maybe because of the material, it's watercolors. It's not very forgiving. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, because like, even if I fuck up with a watercolor, like, I can just delete that video. So again, there's some work I need to do with the ego there, I guess. But yeah, that's just an update for YouTube, is that just trying to stay active with more content, putting more out there, more videos other than podcasts, because this podcast is a weekly podcast. This shit keeps going every week. Sometimes I backlog a couple just so I can keep that shit going if I got a busy schedule ahead of myself. But I'm definitely always crunching time for podcasting. And I guess it's been nice, again, going back to the commission work and working on Tech Utopia art. It's nice to have some of that time at the studio desk and put hours on there. Overall, I'm just grateful to be doing any of this. So it is what it is. But yeah, with all that said, again, if you've been tuning in up to this point, if you've been enjoying at least this content so far, again, don't be afraid to like and subscribe. And if you really are interested on the other content, check it out or ring the bell so you can see the next new thing I put out there. But yeah, definitely comment. I love engaging with my audience. I put a lot of like call to actions and especially on social media too. I always I would always try to engage with the audience, leave the box there for people to leave questions or comments. And which, by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to be doing a short Q&A. But yeah, do all the good things for the algorithm. Okay, so these last few things, I'm going to try to make them quick. As I'm seeing here on the timer, we're almost at an hour now. Just quick event updates. Because I've posted a couple of vlogs from the last couple of festivals that I did. And, I was really hoping to do more events, even, just regular artisan markets, but I've applied to a few, but the only one has been confirmed, and that's the artisan market at Hardywood West Creek for August 21st. So it's not until the end of August. The ones that are more recent, they never got back to me. So I don't know. I don't know if that's because they already booked everyone that they needed, or if I've just been put on a waiting list. Yeah, I don't know. So July, it looks like I'm not going to be doing any events in July. So I guess just more time, more prep work for the August one. But hopefully I can see again. It's tough to get my foot in the door with these other markets. Because there's Pop-Up RVA, which I've mentioned a couple of times on the podcast. I've met with the guy a couple of times. Great guy, real nice. And I like what he's doing. Like, he's just supporting local businesses, local artists like myself. He always has like an open mic or, someone to perform at these events. The pop-up market I'm talking about, it's a weekly, it's a weekly market. So every Saturday they're doing a market with, what was it, like 50 plus vendors, and then usually a food truck, and they got a nice little drink stand for some like nice cold margaritas, boozy margaritas. Yeah. Which I always go there for that. I always get myself a nice margarita. But and they'll have like the local musician or bands play. So I love the support that's given, but I'm a little uncertain with it because of just my experiences with them. It's been kind of mixed. The first time I did it with them was in the fall last year, and it was pretty slow. I think I may have sold one or two things. I actually can't remember. But yeah, but then we did it again this year. It was like springtime, like end of spring, getting into summer. When was that? Was it April? Can't remember. Anyway, it was a better turnout. I actually made some money. I think I broke even. But again, if it's a weekly event, like I just think it saturates the scene, to be honest, and it feels harsh to say. Maybe because I'm biased and I like this guy. And I've met some very nice people there. But yeah, I just think and I only believe that we did well when we did do it with them last time, because it was only the third or fourth weekend of that event. So it was still kind of like people are excited to get back out there and check out the vendors and everything. So people were still excited, and I don't, I've been popping in the last few, and just to see the traffic. And I tend to pop in at like midway or like towards the end. And it's like, I don't want to say too much. I mean, I don't know what the chances are of anyone who's attended, or if the guy himself is who runs the event is gonna catch this. But when I do pop in, it's pretty dead, and there are some gaps there, like either vendors didn't show up or they left early. Like that's never a good sign. At least in my experience. I had a friend who was on the podcast. She's a local artist here in Richmond. Um, Eleanor Goodfellow. She did one of the recent ones, and I mean, she's just getting out there, so I don't want to say anything and to like diminish her like setup, but she was just getting out there. So there were some things like I was trying to give her like a couple friendly tips on like how she can just make her, like, you gotta pop when if you're gonna do a market, you like, even if you're just starting, like hopefully like just know that it really helps to like stand out. um and I think by doing that, I think having a banner of some or something like a banner will help you with that. Like having just a really nice display. Like if you have a real small setup, it's gonna be tough. It can be tough. Um, depending on your product that you're selling. Like I'm just speaking on artwork, but yeah, she did one, and I don't know. Like again, I tend to come later because I want I want to see how well the traffic is. Like if there's still like a decent amount of foot traffic during the second half towards the end of the closing of the event, like that's a good sign. That means like people are excited, people are interested, they're interested in the vendors. Because like, if you get like a big crowd going through the event and then like they're gone like right away, like that's, you know, it's not a good sign. So I feel bad saying all of that because I like that scene. I always see nice people there. I've been networking, and I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully things will I mean, I don't want to say it's not working out, but I wish him, the gentleman that runs those events, I wish him well. I'll do. I'm not saying I'm not gonna apply to any of their pop-ups, but I probably will wait and do like the beginning of the season or something, because they do this until like fall. So I guess, I don't know. We'll see. Again, it's every week, so I'm just gonna keep popping in and just seeing how everything goes. And if I start getting like a good vibe, like, oh, there's been traffic here, I'll probably apply. But then other than that, I hope I can get my foot in the door with these other markets. The Richmond Makers Market was one that I applied for. The Richmond Moon Market is another one I applied for. So hopefully, like the one thing that kind of bothers me is that like they would market the upcoming events. They would promote it, and I don't know if it was just for the one or the other, or if I did it to both. But I addressed both. I think it was both of them. I commented. I'm like, hey, like I applied. Haven't heard anything back yet. So I don't know if I just been put on the waiting list. Like I wasn't trying to sound like I was complaining. I was just basically saying, hey, I've applied. Don't know if I don't know how, if you're still going through the applications, or if that you've already have gone through them and everyone else is on a waiting list. Like I never got a confirmation is what I'm saying. And I kind of wish I got one. Maybe I should have been more upfront and just asked for one. But the thing that bothered me anyway is that they just liked the comment. They didn't like say anything back. So I was like, oh, like, All right, I see that you've acknowledged my comment here because you liked it, but you're not gonna like. There's no response there. You're just kind of leaving me in the shadows. I'm just gonna assume. I'm just gonna assume I'm on the waiting list. The good news about you know applying to these events is that they don't ask for application fee. I've learned that it's only when you do bigger, like when you do festivals, if it's like a full weekend event, uh, you'll have to pay an application fee. My voice is gonna start cracking because it's like so dried out. Uh, but yeah, that's about it as far as events. Like I want to do more vlogs for that stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. The making the last two vlogs were really fun. Honestly, just doing the events in Charlottesville have been great turnouts. Um, so I'm looking forward to doing the next festival that they got going on for the summer. We'll see. The last few things I want to just, I guess, basically go over. Uh, I mean, these are just more personal things, but I guess I just want to kind of vocalize them and like put it out there in the interwebs, put it out there in the space, in the air. It's on record. Uh, Accountability, all of that, which is really what I'm about to get into. Um, I really look forward to trying to regain my accountability. And what I mean by that is just kind of like the things I said throughout this podcast, especially during the reflection part of it, like these things I want to work on, these mistakes or flaws, these things that I see. I want to fix them and really try to make adjustments. So I want to make sure I keep myself accountable in doing so, and also being present, right? So because I'm active on YouTube, everything's about content, and I feel like I've been making more content than actual art, and that also affects my, like, I want to like pursue these practices, like, and by practices I mean like just being able to just doodle in my sketchbook, just sketch things, and you know just do studies. Like, I have this great anatomy book for artists for Christmas, and I've been wanting to like just dive into that and just like be able to sit down and flip through it and do some things in my sketchbook. I got a fresh new toned sketchbook. And I just want to like just kind of go in there and just fuck around. And the thing I have about it is that I guess like there's so many things going on in my head. So, and the content, like I'm always thinking about content, recording content. And, like that really kind of stops what I want to do. That's that I would find a lot more stress free than like producing a content that can potentially make me profit somehow. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like I've talked with other artists about it, like being so free and like in their craft. Like I I envy that because sometimes I don't feel that. Like the portraits, when I do portraits, that's as free as I can be. Like I just love doing portraits, so like I do them almost on a daily, right? And I have so much content on it. Like, and I will make a book eventually. I'm gonna make a book. So again, that's another thing I keep myself accountable because I did claim that shit. I had a old friend, fellow classmate on the podcast, and he called me out on it. And he's like, "Yo, why don't you have a book?" Shout out to Chris Purnell. Fucking called me out on it. He's like, "Why don't you have a book? You should have a fucking book." I should, honestly. Um, yeah, that's just a whole nother thing. But accountability. I just gotta there's just so much. So I guess maybe the next step is to like, all right, make a list of like the actual things I really should be accountable for right now, so I can fucking reach those goals. But the whole thing about content creating and like that disrupts that it stops me from being present. So I think that's why I can't just doodle, because I'm thinking about the end result. Like it could turn into something I can sell, or it could turn into good content. Like I'm always thinking of shit like that, where it's like, no, I don't, like maybe I don't want people to see this. I've talked about that as well. Like I would love to have a sketchbook that no one's ever saw. Like like I said, I mean, I technically do, but I just can't fucking find it. It's lost. I have this hard covered sketchbook that I had from college, and it's somewhere. It's lost. I've moved a lot over the years, so it must have just got lost, or I left it behind somewhere. I think I left it with my brother, my older brother, but I don't know. I gotta ask him again. Anyway, yeah, regain my accountability on some of the things that I've claimed that I was gonna do, and also be present on these other, like these practices or disciplines or whatever, like just to be present and not worry about, oh, like, will this be good content? Like I need to be able to do things just for me. um what else? Oh, something that I started struggling with again. Expectations. This is definitely a discipline that I've been I've been practicing, and something that I need to sort of practice again is lose any expectations I may have or may have had. It's got to lose any expectations, because shit doesn't always go the way I would like them to go. So, it's got to leave it at that. Just observe. I would not always, but there have been times where I would claim that I'm just an observer. So as I observe, I gotta let go expectations, because it's not always gonna go the way as I would like them to go, as I want them to go, as I would expect them to go. That shit's gotta go out the window. Just gotta go with it. Be water. Um, and then the last thing I just want to mention is that oh yeah, actually something I need to address before I get into the Q&A. The title of this episode, Am I Overzealous? Now, context. I know the word, never really knew the meaning. And I heard it in a podcast. Shout out to Scissor Bros. I heard Jeremiah Watkins say overzealous to his guest. And I'm like, overzealous. I know that word. Like I've heard of that word. What does that word mean? And then and so I looked it up, and I'll just read here the definitions of overzealous: adjective marked by excessive enthusiasm for and intense devotion to a cause or idea. Synonyms are fanatic, fanatical, rabid, passionate. So am I overzealous? Because I made these claims where, especially I know in the last couple of the recent episodes, I think one with Andrea Garcia, and I think I said it to someone else. I know I mentioned it a couple times, but I've noticed that after post workout, because I work out for our new audiences here. I work out very early in the morning. I'm usually stepping in the gym around like 6:45. And I work out for like 90 minutes, right? I like to get it in. I go hard, train hard, so I can recover hard and play hard and eat hard. All the things hard, 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 hard. No, but so yeah, I like to crush a workout early in the morning, and I've noticed that post workout, because I take pre-workout, so I know like I got all my levels are up, endorphins, serotonin, all this stuff is going, and it becomes tricky for me on how I direct that, because then like whatever topic I happen to come across, whether I'm listening or reading something, watching something, I like go all in, like all that passion like that was built up from crushing a challenging workout. So my confidence is up, like my compassion is like way up. So like whatever it is that captures my attention post workout, I fucking go all in, and it comes off real aggressive and like overly passionate sometimes. Again, depending on the topic, and I've made a rule, and I'm trying to get conditioned to it. I made a new rule that, all right, post workout, I have to essentially stay off my phone. I have to keep my phone away from me. Right now I'm saying 30 minutes. 30 minutes is the mark. That seems to be the mark for my other discipline, which is for when I work up. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I avoid my phone. Like I don't look at my phone. I actually sometimes plug in my phone in the living room so that when I wake up, I stretch and, get out of bed and all that. Like I have a routine, because I get up at 5 a.m., by the way. 5 a.m. Early bird gets the worm. So I make sure for at least 30 minutes I'm awake, unplugged. And then so now I'm trying to do the same thing, right? Post workout, 30 minutes off my phone, unplugged, because like I don't want to, like, I guess in a sense, like I don't want to get triggered by anything, because all that fucking, like all that energy I got built up inside is just gonna it's gonna vomit all over whatever the thing is. I'm just gonna vomit all over. Just gonna fucking splat everywhere. And again, it can be like on any topic. It could be something serious, something heartwarming, funny, positive. It can be like about anything. And I'm just like, so yeah, so again, going back to overzealous, I think is that it? Is that me being overzealous? Am I overzealous? Like, am I overzealous overall, or am I overzealous post workout? Is that how is that how it works? I don't know. But if I am overzealous, and the people who know me, if you agree that I am overzealous, if I'm correct here, and you know that, you are aware of this, you have been aware of this for the entire time you've known me, I wish you told me. I wish there was a word for that. Or I wish I knew that there was a word for that. Holy shit. So that's all I got. I don't, so I'll leave it as a question, because if if my thinking is correct, because I know I can misunderstand, misconstrue, misinterpret. I'm an idiot. So I'll leave the question. I will leave this. This is going to be a call to action. All right. If you are listening or watching, if I'm overzealous, leave a comment. All right. And then, yeah, leave a comment. Let's get into the Q&A and then I'll wrap it up. It's only one question here. My buddy Tommy, he's one of my best friends from my hometown in New Jersey, Haskell, New Jersey. Fellow Haskell rascal. He's been commenting on some of the videos that I've been putting up, so I know every now and then he'll chime in either podcast or check out my other videos. But yeah, he tends to comment here and there, which I appreciate. So Tombo, if you're listening right now, thanks, brother. Hopefully before this goes out, hopefully we'll get to hang out. And if not, fuck, man, we got to get you in Richmond, man. We got to get you out of Jersey. But yeah, his question on YouTube is, I'm just gonna read from what he wrote. Question for the next solo podcast. Can you relate to Brian's comment where he said he could go back and listen to his old songs and he knew he was disinterested? Do you look back at commissions or specific pieces that you remember, quote, my heart wasn't in this one, quote unquote, my heart wasn't in this one? If so, was it? And maybe it's something you stopped midway. Either way, I thought it was a good point he made during the podcast. I know there is some work I do that I look back on and say, yeah, this isn't my best. So yeah, man, thanks. Yeah, thanks again for commenting. Thank you for the question. It's a great question. And just to give context to the person that Tommy is referring to, his name is Brian Erickson. He was on a recent episode, is episode 124 with Lisa Lovell and Brian Erickson of the Extensions. It's a great band from New Jersey. Check them out. It's like an indie power pop. It's a great band. They kind of hit all of like the categories of music, really. So yeah, check them out. But yeah, he's referring to his Tommy's referring to Brian's comment there. And you know what? I've been there. I have been in those situations. One in particular, I know there's a couple, but there's one in the particular that will probably like really stick with me for always. Is actually a commission. I did a commission once. It was a portrait of the boss, Bruce Springsteen. And the portrait itself, like the penciling came out the way I wanted it. And it wasn't until I threw the watercolor on that I started questioning it. I'm trying to think at the time. I think I was just getting back because like I take like these breaks from watercolor. I guess like you can tell if you just follow me on social media, like if you're just seeing like a wave of just portrait art going out, like, yeah, I'm just way deep into that flow. And sometimes it's hard to get out of it. So, so yeah, when I go back into watercolor, sometimes I don't know. I guess I don't, it's almost like it requires like a nice little warm up. And I guess, yeah, I think that commission was like a warm up for me with the watercolors. So, like looking back, there are ways I could have blended the colors a little bit better, because that was the thing. Like I don't, yeah, my color palette, there was just something about it. And again, I don't know if it's because of the color palette itself or because of the way I blended the colors, but it was something. Once I threw the colors on there, um, I didn't feel as confident at the end. And yeah, so there's another one I can think of. Actually, there was one commission. And I have a lot of content on it. Like I have a bunch of video clips on it. I never put it together. Maybe I will. But there was a family portrait I did. It was a large family portrait. It was a group of grandchildren with their grandmother. Um, but I basically had to create this collage myself. Like I took all these separate reference photos and I put them together essentially. Um, the grandmother, she, no longer with them, so I had to, you know, yeah, to like put her in the family portrait, and she's only, like I wasn't provided a lot of references of the grandmother, and the ones that I did have, they were fuzzy. So even if I like zoomed in for the facial features, it really wasn't going to do any justice. So it was hard to capture her likeness. Like again, I'm a portrait artist, so I try to capture as many details as I can, just to capture that likeness. And when the photo references don't, if they don't help at all, it's really tough. And the client, she, she was she was pretty blunt about it, but yeah, I didn't capture, like I was off. Like the grandmother was off, and she was not very shy about pointing that out. So I had to go back in there. Oop, sorry about that. Got a message. I had to go back in there and like tweak it and try to like adjust it and just to get it so that it's close enough. But again, like the pictures were really bad. Like they were just fuzzy. They were very fuzzy. I mean, the pictures that they provided me, they weren't even digital. They were like a picture of a photo picture. So, and that physical photo itself was not great quality. So again, it didn't translate well on paper, on pencil. Um, but again, hey, maybe it was me. Maybe I suck. Maybe I just wasn't good enough when I was working on it. I don't know. I don't have any excuses, but so that happened. I'm trying to think of another piece that I worked on that I wasn't like necessarily proud of. Um, yeah, I mean, when it comes to personal work, yeah, there's not many that I mean, I scrapped the Bruce Lee one once. There was one I started, and again, it was because I was just getting from just warming up to watercolors again. So this seems to be a pattern I need to really pay attention to, or avoid. But yeah, I did this really cool like Bruce Lee sketch, and then it was him when he was in um oh geez, Enter the Dragon. So he's got the claw cuts, and yeah, once I threw the watercolor paint on there, I don't know either the like a smudge ended up somewhere. I don't know, something. It was I remember I'm pretty sure it was something irresponsible, and it kind of ruined the thing, and I ended it right there, scrapped it, and I hate scrapping work like that. Um, but yeah, I know there's a couple other ones. I just can't. I don't want to like keep the dead air, and we're about 90 minutes. So I'll leave it at that. And thanks again, Tombo. Thank you for tuning in when you have the chance. I know you tune in during your commute to and from work, right? So thanks, brother. And for the audience out there, if you're listening, watching, yeah, don't hesitate to leave a comment if you got any questions. Especially, I love doing these Q&As. There have been times I've done a few, um, and I don't know, I enjoyed doing them. So if you guys like tuning into that and getting some insight that way, please comment below. Yeah, for real. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, like and subscribe on audio platforms and YouTube. Ring the notification bell if you want to keep up with all the current uploads. Yeah, just all the necessary things that can help me get out there in the algorithm. I would really appreciate that. Um, what else? Yeah, spread the word, guys, especially if you or someone you know is a creative entrepreneur of some sort. You think they'd be great on the podcast. Send them my way. Reach out. Just follow the links in the show description. And that is all, folks. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay aware, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.